Hey team, welcome to week 2 of our vlog series. Um, I don't think I could be a vlogger. I just don't like the word vlog. It's just weird. But week 2 of just our videos that we're posting on Mondays in order to communicate better and more efficiently in 2019. And in January, we're talking a lot about our team. And so last week we set out the expectations, which many of you responded, these were the exact same expectations we've always had, and you're right. But we just felt like we needed to have some clarity. And we felt like over time, those were things that we communicated really well in the beginning. But as Collective has grown and new people have jumped in and staff and all those things, we've never been excellent at clearly speaking those on a regular basis. And so I got a lot of great questions last week, and thank you guys for listening and reading and sending in those questions and talking to your environment leaders. You guys care so much about this church, and I can tell, and it shows in all that you do. And so continuing though on the conversation of team, and this kind of takes it a little bit forward. So there's a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins, and Jim Collins studied the greatest organizations in the United States and tried to figure out what do these organizations have in common. And there's a lot of great things. It's a great book. I'd encourage you to read it if you like data, especially if it reads like a thesis. But there's one thing that is in this book that I really love, and he talks about having the right people in the right places. And what he says is it's the right seat on the bus. That it's not all about the number of people, and it's not all about getting a bunch of people on the bus. It's putting them in the right seats so the bus can drive well, so it can move forward in the right direction. And when Collective first started, many of you know this, it was all hands on deck all the time, do whatever you can. And so a lot of you guys trained in ways that you've never trained before. A lot of you started running tech stuff that you've never done before. A lot of you guys started serving kids, which you'd never done before, or helped with parking, or whatever it may be. And that's how we got through it. And but now as the team has grown and we've got more people and we are trying to add people to the team, we want to get people in the right places. And so if you're one of those people that's serving on a team or serving in an area, you're like, man, I love this, I love serving, I love being here, but I think I would be better at kids, or I think I'd be better at connections, or maybe you want to run slides, whatever it may be. We'd love to put you in that space, because ultimately at the end of the day, we know that God's given you talents and abilities, and we want to put you in a place where you can thrive, right? We say it all the time at Collective. It's about finding your sweet spot. The best example of this is Katie. When Collective first started, Katie learned pipe and drape. She developed our system, actually. And then eventually she handed that off and jumped over to lights. And she filled in for lights while Ray was a director, because we knew that's what was best for Collective, was having directors on Sunday. Eventually, Katie and I sat down. We had a conversation about next steps and what she was hoping to do. And we both came to the conclusion that while she's doing a great job with lights, it didn't really speak her language. It wasn't her sweet spot. She wasn't in the right seat on the bus. And so we talked for a little bit, and eventually we realized that Connections is the best place for her. And as you know, if you serve on Connections or if you show up on Sundays when you're not serving, Katie crushes it at Connections. It allowed us to have her as an MC. It allows her to lead the youth collective. And so ultimately, Katie did everything we needed her to do to create space for other people to serve, so that eventually she can move to the right seat on the bus. And so we want the same for you. And so if you are feeling like some weird tension with the team that you're serving on, or you feel like you have talents and abilities that go beyond where you are, or even you have talents and abilities and you look at another team like, man, like I love kids, I need to be with kids, let us know. Talk to your current environment leader. We'd love to get you in the right place, and really help this team grow and create space for other people to be in the right place as well. One big piece of that, though, is we know that a lot of you have talents and abilities that may not manifest themselves completely on Sunday morning at Collective. Like, for example, we have graphic designers. Well, that's not a Sunday morning role. Our graphic designers work throughout the week extra. They serve twice a month and do our design. And there's other spaces like that. So when you think about Collective and you think about the teams we have, kids, connections, and production, that's kind of what we're talking about. There's a lot of roles that fit all types of people, introverts, extroverts, people who love details, don't love details, people who want to meet new people who don't want to meet new people who just want to lift heavy things, people who, want to sit quietly in a space and not be bothered. We have space for all of them. And so it's less about creating a special space for people. We don't want to do that. We want to create space that helps our guests have the best experience they can, which we believe is what we have right now at Collective. But it's more about taking what we have and fitting into that in the best way possible. So if that's you, or if you're just wondering about that, reach out to your environment leader. Let's have a conversation. Because again, our goal right now is to continue to grow this team, steady up this team, build consistency in this team so that we can do the best job that we can. You guys are crushing it. I know so many of you served so much in spaces that, to be honest, you weren't sure about, and now you've grown to love. A lot of you are serving on teams that in the beginning you didn't think kids would be the best place for your connections or production, and you're doing such a great job. But we want to make sure that we constantly evaluate and constantly think through this. And so thank you guys for crushing it. I hope you all enjoyed your snow day. I know for me personally, I missed you guys a ton. And so I'm praying that we get to be back together this week. Man, so thankful for you guys. Keep digging ditches. Let's see what God can do this year. And one quick note, just to further encourage you guys. Over the next few weeks so far, we have 5 baptisms. So in the next 3 weeks, there are 5. And we're having a lot of good conversations right now. And that doesn't exist if you're not serving. Life change doesn't happen if you guys don't show up consistently on Sunday mornings to make space for this. And so thank you guys for making that sacrifice. You guys know you don't do it for me and you don't do it for our staff. You do it because God asks us to. But you guys do it in such a way that it makes it a joy. So thank you guys for everything. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. See ya.